Good evening. It's 7 p.m., June 24th, 2025. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the City of Martinsville Planning Commission. Start off with roll call.
Lisa Hollett.
Steve Bodie here. Jim Burkhart here. Joe Disney is not. Rick Durnell.
Present.
Richard Heacock. Not. Ann Miller.
Present.
Richard Baston. No. Caleb Forrester.
Present.
Jason Scott. Here. Marilyn Siderwitz is not with us. Troy Swan is also not here as engineer.
We do have a quorum. First on the agenda is the presentation of minutes dated May 28th, 2025. Do you have any comments or corrections on those minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes as presented by Ann Miller
Second.
and a second by Caleb Forrester. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have one item of old business tonight, docket number PC 25009, Historic District approval to change the inside and outside of a building at 188 190 East Morgan Street. It's in the back of the building. Owner is Red Brick Trading Company, Mr. Ron Stanhouse. And Mr. Stanhouse, if you'll just sign in for us there. And Mr. Strader, while he's signing in, did the building department receive any
Yes, we did.
notices or anything required?
Yes.
They did, thank you. So we tabled this from last month over a couple of issues, but we had I believe we have a couple of commissioners in attendance that weren't here last month. So it might be best, Mr. Stanhouse, if you just start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure who wasn't here, but I'm glad to give you a little flyer. But it's not in your packet. So this is currently a two-car garage on the north end of a building that faces Morgan Street. Sycamore address, doesn't have an assigned address yet. So I like to call it 140 North Sycamore, but that's not its official address. And so the idea is to finish it out, turn it into retail space. There are very few retail spaces available in the 9-block downtown. So I've stored cars in it for 15 or more years. I think it'd make a better retail space. And we've got a contractor and an architect plan, and we're ready to move forward.
Mr. Stanhouse, have you decided, is it one or two rental properties? Will it be leased as a single unit, or will it be?
We're happy to use the architect plan to make it two. So there'd be two like 1,100 square foot spaces. Dividing wall down the middle, it'd be pretty much a twin.
I know that was one of our questions from last month, and the other was the construction design release, which is included in the packet, so appreciate seeing that. Any questions for Mr. Stanhouse?
If my fellow commissioners don't have any questions or comments, I would make a motion that we approve this item as presented.
I second it.
We have a motion on the floor to approve docket number PC 25009 made by Mr. Bodie and a second by Ann Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. I'm sorry. Kind of goobered that.
Is he here today? Somebody open it up.
Oh, yeah, I probably ought to do that. Let's see if anybody's here to speak before it ends.
Apologize about that miscue there. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on docket number 25009? Nobody here. Does any
Staff have any
commissioners?
thoughts or recommendations they want to share with us?
The CDR, I have not seen yet, but that says it's, okay.
Then I'll vote yet.
Okay.
I didn't vote, that's why.
Sorry about that. So motion passes. Next up is docket number PC 25013, a 3-lot minor plat, addresses being 1530, 1560, 1590, and 1630 South Ohio Street, Martinsville Outparcel Retail LLC. If you'll sign in there at the podium. And Mr. Strader, did the building department receive any required permits, notices, affidavit of mailing, and notice of publication?
Gary, have you received anything on this notification for these parcels? I've received the drawings for that, this is just what we have here in front of us. We've received drawings, maybe 3 times. I think I should this over the last 6 months, so this is the layout we're looking for now.
Did we get the notices to the adjoining landowners and the notice in the newspaper? Were those provided?
I have no green cards.
There's copies of the green cards in there that was emailed to me.
It was a confusing, very confusing public notice, because it involved legal descriptions of the survey. So I had calls from people over on the corner of Holden and Northwestern. You know, what is this? Where is this at? Yes, I do have notification by mail.
Okay.
Okay. If you'll state your name for the record and present the petition.
Yes, Michael McBride on behalf of Martinsville Outparcel Retail LLC, which is primary owner of this property. I also have Mike Guggenheim with me, who's a representative and affiliate of that company. Yes, members, good evening and thank you. We are looking to divide a portion of property that kind of spans the addresses of 1530 to 1630 South Ohio Street on a plat into 3 separate lots. The ultimate goal on the middle lot would be a Kroger Fuel Center, and we also have a representative here, Brianna Ramsey from Kroger as well. And then the north lot has a current development on it, and we do not have planned development currently for lot number 3, but it would still be part of that plat, and understand that there would need to be approval before any of the development that would take place. So that's what we're looking to do here. We have submitted some preliminary plans, which were part of the plat application for the Kroger lot that would be on lot number 2 of this planned, hopefully, plat split, and that would be the center lot. And then we've also submitted a kind of detailed breakdown of the square footage of each of the lots, which the smallest of the 3 would be lot 2 at 34,497 square feet.
I'm sorry, Mr. McBride, would you repeat part of that Kroger Fuel Center gas station complex is on the part of this that is lot 2?
It would be lot 2, yes.
And the part that is currently lot 1 has an established structure on it for now?
Yes.
And intention for that and lot 3?
It's unknown on lot 1 right now, given there's an established structure. On lot 3, there have been communications. Ideally, it would be something probably food-oriented, but we don't have an actual store or retail
Sure.
location determined yet.
There currently is a residence there at this particular location, correct?
No, I don't believe so.
This is the intense rental right here.
Uh-huh.
This is Ohio Street. There's a commercial building now vacant.
That's what?
So this is 2 lots that are currently owned by Martinsville Outparcel Retail, and is there a little land coming from, I think it's owned by Artesian Square LLC? Like an
Yes.
L-shaped portion to add to the total?
There is an L-shaped portion. We have actually been in front of the commission on a similar design and project to divide this about 4 years ago. And we had been working through for quite some time with Artesian's lender to help approve that actual transfer of land. We have that approval now, and so that's why we're back seeking to get approval from the commission again, since it had been some time.
Are there any questions for Mr. McBride or the Kroger representative, correct?
This is actually Mike Guggenheim is the owner. He's affiliated with both Artesian and Martinsville Retail
Oh.
Out Parcel, and then Kroger representative Brianna Ramsey. She's in the back there, and she's happy to answer questions too.
So is this going to, basically it's the Turkey Hill that we have now? Is that what's, is it going to move up there, or is it just going to be the gas station only? So we have Turkey Hill in South Ohio, right?
Yes, it was a Turkey Hill. I believe it's now operated as the Kroger Fuel Center. So right now, the idea is that we will build this one here.
But is it food, or is it just a
It'll
fueling
just be a
station?
fuel center. Yeah, so just a fuel station. Traditionally, our fuel stations have walk-up kiosks, so they have some like grab-and-go snacks. There's a few coolers, things like that, but there's not like people don't walk into it. So it's usually about 200 square feet, very small.
And you have access to Ohio and the shopping center? Egress both ways?
In the current plans, yes. There was some concern when we put them together initially for that, so the access is actually staggered
Okay.
to limit direct flow across. And so we had been working with Mr. Oaks and his office on trying to figure out a different plan that helped limit that straight across access, so people are still using the road to the south.
And, ma'am, what is your name again, please?
My name is Brianna Ramsey. I'll sign the sheet.
Thank you. Thanks.
No problem.
And you said this is just gonna be fuel and like light snacks, it's not gonna be like the other fuel center is right now with
Convenience store.
convenience store?
Correct. There will not be a convenience store, just that walk-up kiosk. It'll get manned by a single attendant.
Okay.
They're very kind of standard Kroger fuel stations, if you see them across the cities, so.
Right.
Mr. Oaks, does the city have any comments on this?
The biggest concern was the gas station that will be vacated. Obviously, there's tanks there. What's going to ultimately happen there? And it's not your position to take care of, but the city is certainly concerned about it.
I'm sorry, tanks on this subject property lot right now,
Turkey Hill's that.
On the existing Turkey Hill property.
Okay.
but it has nothing to do with these petitions.
So who's gonna take care of that? Who's gonna remove all that, correct? Right?
How can we take care of that?
Right, we can't take care of it, yeah, so that's what's gonna happen to the old one.
So, and I apologize, this is my second week of work in the Indianapolis division, but if we remove the Turkey Hill, then the Turkey Hill gas station would, we would take care of anything that Kroger's responsible to take care of, basically. So anything that is required by the state, we always clean up and, decommission correctly.
We'd probably need something like that in writing, wouldn't we?
Well, it's state law,
State law?
yeah.
I don't know that this is germane to this replatting of this land, fellow commissioners.
I kind of agree. I think that's two separate issues there.
And for anything that, for the actual development of the fuel station, we'll end up, I'm sure, coming forward to you guys at that time. At that point, I will have a better idea on the plans for, the old Turkey Hill.
I would kind of like to know what the plan would be before I would approve this personally. Just because I want to be sure that, that the city's not going to be responsible for having to take care of the old station and anything.
Sure, yeah, no, that's understandable. That would, okay.
That's my own opinion, that I don't know if the other.
I will say, so, if that location is operated by Kroger, that is something that we will be responsible for, so.
What the Plan Commission has for tonight is the request to approve this plat that's been submitted for this particular piece of property. So it would be improper for you to consider any other property not in your consideration. Your job would be to see if the plat as submitted complies with our ordinance, and so that's what's before you this evening.
It seems to me that commercial development is certainly in our comprehensive plan for Ohio Street. It makes sense for this to be developed. I think we should make it conditional upon a Starbucks being put in. That's what I think. And that is a joke.
I don't think they're moving.
That is a joke. So it seems highly appropriate for this to be moved forward so that they can proceed with building the Kroger gas station and then whatever else happens in that property.
Do we have any more questions for the petitioner? Thank you. I would open the floor to any remonstrators or anyone who would like to speak for or against this petition. Come on up to the podium now. If you don't mind, just sign in on the sheet there.
Sure.
And then state your name and address for us.
My name's Glenda McMurray. I live on Northwest Avenue, 1639. I'm directly behind the Circle K. And sometimes the traffic getting out from Northwest Avenue onto Holden is not so bad, but getting out on Ohio Street is already often an issue. And the other outlet on Northwest is gone. They've made it a dead end. And I just wonder they didn't really explain much of how they're going to route that. So they said not so they come across, but I'd like to know how that's going to affect the traffic coming out of Holden for everybody that lives back in there. Because it's not just Northwest, it's the trailer court and, you know, sometimes I wait 2 minutes, and that don't seem like a lot until you're sitting in your car at a stop sign, you know, behind 3 other cars that are still waiting to get out, you know, because they have people coming out of that filling station, and I have actually been hit because they come flying out of there, and I was sitting behind another car at the stoplight. And he just come flying out there, hit the back of my car, hurt his worse than mine, so I didn't worry about it. But, you know, it's just, how bad is it gonna get if we put another one across the street?
Ms. McBree, are you mostly talking about taking a left onto Ohio Street or taking a right is equally bad?
Well, you have people coming out of the Circle K, and then you'll have people coming out over here. You see what I mean?
Sure.
That's a lot of traffic tying up that intersection. And I live back there, so I'm coming in and out there on a regular basis. You know, maybe 2-3 times a day. So I just would like a better explanation. What are they gonna do about the traffic?
Our role tonight isn't deciding things like traffic flow. Is that correct, Chairman and Mr. Coffey?
That's correct. Your is basically the design that they put before. I mean, if the design they put before you don't think complies because of a traffic issue or something, you certainly are within your grounds to consider that. But again, your job is to look at what they've submitted as to the land in question and decide whether or not it complies with your ordinance.
So who decides what they do about the traffic? They had said that, you know, we need to address the not going across. So where do we find out what they're gonna do? You know, we've been through a lot of it.
Mr. Oaks?
I have a drawing that they presented to us, and I'm happy to show it to you, but in descriptive, their entry-exit drive is roughly across the street from Max Gas Station's northernmost drive, which is only about 40 feet, 50 feet south of Holden that she's referring to, which isn't very far south of Prather, so you got a lot going on there, you're right.
Yeah. And then we have the restaurants. The traffic there is getting pretty heavy now. So I just would like to know how they're going to deal with it, because if that's, traffic is going to get worse because you okay the filling station, then what?
And
If it doesn't have anything to do with it now, we're not going to know, and they okay it, and then we're stuck with whatever. Now, if you lived there, you would have a better understanding.
You guys also recognize that there are additional lots included in this plat, and what is the traffic if it is a Starbucks?
yeah, I don't know where that goes as far as other traffic issues like stop signs or more stop lights. Most people don't want to add more of those, but sometimes it's a necessity. Like where Holden enters and exits onto Ohio.
Well, it also exits on Holden. That's where I got hit.
Right. That's what I meant, at that intersection.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a mystery to me how they cannot make the traffic a lot worse than it is now. You know, I don't care if they have one, but I'm saying, is there another place for their traffic to come in and out? Because, like I said, it's gotten a lot worse. And those of us that live in that neighborhood still are dealing with, we've dealt with the highway, we've dealt with Circle K. And now another filling station, there's gonna be more development, I'm sure.
Yes.
So I just wanna know where we stand, you know, in traffic. And I just wanna know who to contact for that information, if not here. Okay.
Well,
It
Glenda,
wouldn't be
if-
at this one anyway, right? It would be at the next one, once the plan is submitted. Am I getting that right? All we're approving tonight is the plat.
yes, the replat.
So that's all we're doing. So, I mean, once the traffic flow and all that stuff would have to come at the final.
Would there be a final?
I think that's what they're asking for. I believe they already had their preliminary. It's a final plat, correct, Gary?
I'm sorry?
This is the final plat tonight, correct?
Yes.
Yes. They already came before their preliminary several months ago. Zoning's already in place, so all tonight is that this is your final plat to approve a 3-lot minor subdivision.
But my point is, we're not approving how the traffic flows, though, at this point. That, I mean, once, the-
Isn't your question who will?
yes, who will?
Gary, thoughts?
But I see a set of drawings like this as a proposal from a business wanting to come here. While I review it for what they are allowed to do, I cannot prevent them from coming an entrance or exit onto Ohio Street as long as it's more than 600 feet from the interstate. With proposals that we originally saw, this was straight through traffic. They were going to go to Ohio Street right on into Kroger's, and Kroger's could come in and go out. They said, no, we're not having any of that straight through traffic. That's what the stoplight is there for, Ruth Rusey Drive, of course, to control your traffic. So that's the condition that we have right now.
And that's what I'm asking. Are they gonna exit out onto Ohio or Ruth Rusey? Many shopping centers, you have to go down one road and then turn into another road that leads you to the other businesses.
That's true.
So I just would like to know where the traffic's going to go. Because if you okay it and they start building it and we don't have any say-so over it, then
Well,
it just is what it is.
Ma'am?
And we have no say.
if it's not Kroger, it could be Chick-fil-A, okay? I mean, that's what you're getting into. This is commercial real estate. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that you're, if it's not Kroger, it's gonna be the next guy.
So.
And it may be that the city will be looking at your problem as well as all of your neighbors coming and going, or, excuse me, exiting off of Holden Street onto Ohio. That may not be solved in the plan commission, but it may be a different issue like a stop sign, all-way, or another traffic signal. Those are big decisions, and those are not what we do in this commission.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're hearing you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Then I would ask Mr. McBride, would you care to come up and have any rebuttal to that or further expand on traffic?
The only thing I will say is I do hear what the neighbor has just commented on, and I apologize, I didn't quite catch her name. I believe it was Glenda McMurray. But we were trying to address this with our revised proposal. As it currently stands, there is access on the southwest side of this lot 2 over to Artesian. And instead of going straight across, it diverts up, so off Ohio is on the northeast side. That should substantially reduce actually the amount of traffic that goes through there. One, you're not gonna have people just cutting straight across to go in and out of Kroger. And I think that was the big concern. The people from Kroger would just go right on through. You're not gonna have that with the fuel center. And the other thing is you will have people actually that come in, stop in to get gas, and then move on in to Kroger, which limits the traffic back out. Because people will just naturally go down to Ruth Rosie Drive and go out that area, which is a much more convenient way to go anyway, given that it has a stoplight, better lanes, easier access. So we hope the plans, we were trying to work through that traffic issue and hope to do so in the best way possible. We staggered that in and out portion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I got a little bit of additional information as I was sitting there. So I just wanted to say on the Turkey Hill site, Kroger does operate that location. We do not own it. And so I assume when we come through with our plans, actual plans for the fuel center, to get them approved at this site, we'll be able to have a plan and be able to tell you what the plan is for the Turkey Hill at that time. So I do not have them today, but
Thank you.
I just wanted to clarify that that is official.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any comments, discussion by the commission?
Mr. Chairman, would you like this drawing that shows their traffic layout? Is that helpful to you? The rest of it?
I saw it prior to the meeting, but if anybody else would like to see that. Mr. Oakes has a rendition of their plan for the property showing traffic flow, if anybody would like to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, may we see it,
Yeah,
please?
okay.
If you just share, I'll go copy it.
We'll just share. We'll just share.
I have an original copy.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, but you don't drive straight through, you have to. It looks like, in the future, it would come and go. Same thing here, would, instead of Martinsville, enter, come looks like they've done it.
So, Mr. Oakes, I'd just like to clarify as far as the development, a B3 zoning, these lot sizes are well above the required size, correct? And the requirement for a filling station is actually B2, correct?
B2.
Okay. Any more comments, questions? I would say personally, and this is in regards to what Glenda said, I've been a long time Turkey Hill / Kroger customer. It's where I get all my fuel. For the past several years, since the interstate came through, I've been leaving Kroger Fuel and going down Ruth Rusey because I actually live on Ohio Street. And I'm part of that traffic that has probably went right by you. I would say, and this is just speaking for myself, with their proposal moving this, I would find myself going up the current road to Poston Road and avoiding Ohio Street there altogether. Obviously, that's just me. I don't want to be trying to turn left onto Ohio Street without a stop. So that's just, and I know I'm not everyone, of course, so one of my concerns is a business that's not affiliated with Kroger may want their only entrance and exit to be on Ohio Street for accessibility. Although it might not sound ideal, it might be the lesser of, a lesser impact than it could be.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Can you come to the microphone, please, so we can hear you? Thank you.
Like you said, you avoid it. Where we live, there's no other choice.
I understand.
So I just want to, if they're taking out Ruth Rusey or out the back to the lane that goes out to Poston, or, what are their other options? Because when you say Max Filling Station, we don't know where that is. We know Circle K, Turkey Hill, Krogersville.
Yeah.
So.
And I think certainly they would have the option of going, I apologize, I don't know the name of the road that runs north and south up to Poston Road. But it looks from their plans that they do have options to go that way or to come around to Ruth Rusey to hit the stoplight. But as we're seeing, they would also have the option of getting directly onto Ohio Street. So I do appreciate your comments tonight, though.
Okay, I do have one other thing, a question. You say Max Filling Station. Where is that? There's no signs that say Max. Is that?
That's Circle K. That's Circle K. Yep.
Okay. And it's going to be on the other side of the street? Or, because it says 30, that even numbers are on the other side.
Yeah, this would be across the street from Circle K.
Okay. So that puts it right there at Holden.
Yes.
So, you know, it's feeling like right now that we're kind of at the mercy of whoever's developing and controlling that. And I just think, you know, they should consider that they've already cut off any entrance or exit on one end. And now they want to cut, you know, complicate it at the other end, which is already because of the highway and the other filling station that's already there.
I understand. I will say, I mean, looking at the parcel as it sits, it's zoned B3 already. And there are 2 current entrances and exits to it. So I don't know from the city perspective, but if somebody were to build as the plat sits, I don't know does the city have any authority on those? There's already entrances and exits on the property. There was a daycare there for a number of years.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to wait and see.
Thank you. Any more comments from the commission?
As much as I, feel for you guys being in that neighborhood and everything, unfortunately that area was zoned for commercial development on the comprehensive plan. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard living back there, and I'm sure you've had neighbors and maybe people knocking at your door wanting to buy your house, possibly for development. And I feel for you. I really do. But I don't want to lose Turkey Hill, Kroger Fuel. I don't want to lose it. Yeah, I don't want to lose them. And with them, could possibly, if we decide not to, we could possibly lose Kroger on top of that. And I sure as heck would hate to lose Kroger. And that's a possibility. It really is. So I'm going to make a motion to approve docket number PC 5013. Oh, I'm sorry, 25013.
We have a motion on the floor to accept docket number PC 25013 by Ann Miller,
I will second that.
seconded by Steve Bodie. Any discussion before we vote? All those in favor? Mr. Burkhart?
No, I'm just gonna raise my hand. You're not gonna hear me, so.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Final item tonight is docket number PC 25014, rezone from R1 to B1, 260 South Mulberry Street. Owner is Gabriel Britton. Mr. Britton, if you'll sign in on the sheet. And I'll ask again, Mr. Strader, did the building department receive any required permits notices? Thank you, sir.
I'm Gabriel Britton, I'm an attorney here in town. I've been practicing here for about 15 years. My office is currently at 40 West Washington Street. They're building the new courthouse here. I purchased a house adjacent to the new courthouse. It's 300 yards from my current office. I'd like to have it rezoned from R1 to B1. I'm a sole practitioner. It'll be pretty low impact. Yesterday I had no meetings in my office. Today I have one. Tomorrow I have none. Thursday I have none. Friday I have 3. So me and an assistant work 8 to 5. It'll be quiet, well maintained. I don't think it'll have a bad impact on the neighborhood at all. I also own the house down the alley from that house. It's 239 South Marion Street. So I also support myself in receiving the zoning variance from that property address. Yeah, I've got parking for me and assistant, and I don't plan to make any major changes to the building, although the porch needs repaired.
Do you mean off-street parking, or is that on the street?
Mine would be off the street.
You, and room for 2 cars off the street?
Yes.
So you'd expect your customers, clients to park on the street, come in the
Yeah,
front?
I'm gonna, when I do the redesign for the porch, I'm gonna look into what I can do as far as maybe fitting a couple parking spaces up front. But I'm not sure if I got room for it or not.
You mean on the property?
Yes.
Do you have any intention of having rental property there, an apartment, or anyone live there?
No.
Okay.
So looking at this, the parking is my only concern with B1. Well, if I read the parking ordinance correctly, it's a spot for each workstation plus 1 spot for each 300 square foot of building. I don't know how that plays in with off-street parking. I do know the county, there's a parking lot very close to you.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Parking lot would be across the street.
Yeah, there's a parking lot across the street, and then there's gonna be another parking lot where the construction office building is right now, on the corner of Columbus and Mulberry.
So your clients could park over there.
Yes.
Is that public parking now?
It's not, that's not. The one on the east side is, but the one on the west isn't yet, but I think it's gonna be parking.
My only other thought on this was, is it appropriate to rezone, or would a use variance be more along the lines? Because this is, I mean, it'll be surrounded by current residential property.
Use variance.
Yeah, I mean, it's immediately surrounded by residential, but everything else around, like, I look out the back window, I see digital wood carver, I look out the front window, I see the CrossFit.
And that's kind of where I fall, and I understand, and I don't have an issue with the use at all, because I think it is a low impact business, and obviously it's an ideal location for it. And I know that, I mean, within a half block of any direction, you're looking at different zoning than R1, or R2, I'm sorry. It looks like it's an R2 neighborhood. So I don't know if any of the other commissioners have a thought on that, or if the city would have a preference, but
I sure don't, I don't think I would want to encourage future use of that building to include more parking surface on the lot itself.
Exactly.
I think that would be a bad idea. It would take away from the character of the immediate neighborhood, the homes nearby, on-street parking and/or the 2 county-owned parking lots, which are clearly within walking distance, maybe are the solution to that.
And yes, Mr. Bodie, that's kind of my concern. If we rezone, we're opening the door down the road. I mean, Mr. Britton, if you no longer own the property, we have a parcel that's zoned B2 that we, B1, I'm sorry,
B1.
B1, that we probably, there's no way to make it work in compliance. So I think I would have preferred to see this as a as a use variance before the BZA. Any other concerns or comments?
Mr. Chairman, certainly the city is not wanting to encourage on-street parking.
Sure.
It appears, Mr. Britton, you can correct us, but it appears there's room on the property for a paid parking area near where you park right now. So that would be the city's emphasis on that, is off-street parking.
So I think we might have, we would have the option of going ahead and making a motion and voting on this, or if
Conditioned upon.
conditioned upon.
Yes.
Or if Mr. Britton would prefer to withdraw and maybe seek a use variance through the BZA, are our two options.
What's the condition upon?
The recommendation of the plan commission is only advisory, so that they have to go before the city council for the ultimate approval or denial of the rezone request.
Okay. I'd like to go ahead and have a vote, and then I can file for use variance if you guys decline.
Should we ask if there's any public comment?
Yes.
Limited to 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever.
Thank you, Mr. Britton. Yes, anyone else who would like to speak?
Hi, my name's Anna Elliott, and I am a neighbor directly to the south.
Where do you live?
290 South Mulberry.
Okay.
Yep, so I'm directly next door. And I've really been appreciating the improvements that have been made to the property, so I do appreciate that. However, my concern is I definitely don't want to see any more parking spots on the property or see take away like the sidewalk in front of it. It's already chewed up as it is with trees and stuff growing. But I don't really want to see parking spots right in the front yard. I think that would definitely deter from the neighborhood that I live in. So, and like was mentioned, every home adjacent or every property adjacent is residential. So, I mean, it would be nice. So I definitely support the idea of a use variance. I think that that sounds like a great idea, especially considering if the property should be sold at any time. You know, I would like to see that go back as a residence instead of being in business in the midst of a bunch of homes. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Any additional comments, or I'd entertain a motion?
I would move that we deny the request for approval as presented and encourage the petitioner to apply for a use variance.
A second.
So just a point of clarification, we would, because this is a rezone, we are sending this to city council. So we would send it to city council with an unfavorable recommendation.
Yes. Sorry, thank you.
So we have a motion on the floor by Steve Bodie for an unfavorable recommendation to city council. Do we have a second?
We did.
Mr. Burkhart seconds, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. That concludes tonight's meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay. Motion adjourned by Ann Miller. Second, Caleb Forrester. We are adjourned. The next regular.
Okay, I don't care as long as I can get in there.
Council chambers. Yes.